At OPTAVIA, our mission is to offer the world lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. The following audio contains the personal testimonials of independent coaches and clients within the OPTAVIA community. Their results are based on the unique experiences of their journey. We cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. We hope these stories inspire you to continue your journey with or join OPTAVIA, but please note they have not been verified and your individual journey to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you speak with a healthcare provider in the U.S. or a doctor in Singapore and Hong Kong prior to beginning your journey with OPTAVIA. Additionally, this audio may contain income or earning representations of some independent OPTAVIA coaches. We cannot guarantee financial success. Success with OPTAVIA is derived from successful sales efforts, which require hard work, diligence, skill, persistence, competence, and leadership. OPTAVIA acknowledges that this audio may be accessible to OPTAVIA coaches in the U.S., Hong Kong, and Singapore. For independent OPTAVIA coaches operating in the U.S., please see the OPTAVIA Income Disclosure Statement for statistics on actual earnings of U.S. coaches under the U.S. Compensation Plan. Please note that the Income Disclosure Statement only applies to independent OPTAVIA coaches operating in the U.S. under the U.S. Compensation Plan and does not in any way constitute any representations as to actual or potential accrual of benefits for Hong Kong or Singapore coaches under the International Compensation Plan. Yours in health, the OPTAVIA team.
Today, we're going to continue on. We're going to be talking about marching towards your optimal health. With that being said, we have the opportunity to dive into furthering our education, furthering our journey, collectively coming together and just taking on greater health. So tonight, as we dive into that, I am just going to let you know, Russ, Scarce, independent certified OPTAVIA coach, coming to you live tonight. Got my pup right here, Kona. We're going to share with you. So to give you a little bit about myself, about 5 years ago, I went to the doctor and the doctor told me, you're not going to see your kids graduate from high school. And I'll tell you what, folks, that in itself was one of those statements that really took you and shook your world. I didn't know what to do. I decided I needed to start exercising. I needed to start just changing things. But my problem was I didn't have a game plan. I didn't have the tools. I didn't know what to do. All I knew to do was exercise, and that didn't work. I just didn't change my nutrition, got heavier, things got out of control. And so we found OPTAVIA. OPTAVIA changed our lives from the inside out. My wife, Tracy, who many of you know, she decided to take this plan and take it seriously. And she started losing weight and started changing the way she saw food. And I saw this and I thought, wow, this is a pretty cool program, but I hadn't joined her yet. It wasn't until she started coaching that she said, Russ, you need to try this. This is amazing. And when I did, man, I lost an amount of weight instantaneously that it was enough to make my male mentality think, wow, this is something that I could do. So fast forward, here we are today. I've lost a considerable amount of weight. I feel healthy. I get great sleep. We're health coaches now changing the world. And I'll tell you what, it is amazing to be able to do this with other people. So tonight, while we're talking about this, what I want you to do is I want you to drop in this poll. What is your biggest barrier to achieving your health goals? Accountability, confidence, time commitment, or just being clear on what to do. Like I was talking about it just a second ago, when I first started my journey, I wasn't clear. Time commitment, didn't have one of those. Confident, out the door. Accountability, no one around me. I had all of that. But put in there, what's your biggest barrier? So today, we're going to go over quite a few things. And they're all going to be wrapped up into element 5. Now, our mindset, man, health coaching, whether it's being a client, whatever it is, if we want to have success, it's our mindset that needs to make the first shift. Remember that as we're talking about things today, it's our first step is switching the way that we're thinking about things. Then when we add a skill set, our mind is in alignment and we get a skill set, okay? We're gonna take that strategy to optimize your surroundings, and we're gonna give you some action items that you can consciously share your decision to get healthy, with your friends, your coworkers, your surroundings, okay? So, but as we dive into this, we're gonna talk about these results, all right, guys? So just a second ago, you had all thrown in your answers. And to kind of review this, it's pretty cool how Zoom allows us to get this instantaneous live information. And I'll tell you what, the number one, by far, the number one answer was accountability. Can you imagine that? Accountability. Here we are as accountability partners. There's a ton of people out there that need accountability partners like you to help them through this process. Health coaches, those are accountability partners. We can help a lot of people by getting through this together. Now, when we dive into this, we have to take a look at these two books, man. These two books, they're game changers. When we look at the Habits of Health book, it is just chock full, page after page after page of information that gives you a skill set, okay? It actually helps you work through this stuff. But now, when we look at our life book is the elements. Man, I encourage you, pick up that life book, and I thank you for being here today because you are also diving into this, taking these elements step by step, one at a time, whether it's a page a day or a page an hour, however you get through this book. I encourage you, finish this, get back on those YouTube to look at OPTAVIA YouTube, and go back and follow up on some of the ones that you may or may not have seen. It's pretty good stuff. So like Dr. A says in this, all things are possible. You have the capability over time with specific focus, guidance, and practice to become the dominant force in your life. Now, if Dr. A is saying this, man, it's something I've written it down. I look at the words that come out of this man's mouth, and he just floors me all the time because it's just wisdom. It's wisdom. Now, when we talk about mindset, raising your awareness and competence surrounding health. What does that mean? Well, it kind of falls back on what we just talked about, the life book and the Habits of Health. With all the information in there, it's a bunch of tools, each in your tool belt, so that when you're encountering situations, if you have awareness and you're competent at the information that's been provided for you, it's easier to make decisions. Definitely easier to make decisions. Wouldn't you agree that if you're aware, your mindset is just strict on whatever you're doing, and you're confident, you're going to make a right decision. It's much easier. So we're going to take another poll here because this is really important. Your top 5, the people you spend the most time with, how are they inspiring you? Okay, so we've got a few different things here. Most of my top 5 inspire me to be healthier. You're surrounded by people that are saying, hey, have the salad, get some exercise, don't eat that. Let's think about a trip with whatever it is. They're surrounding you and inspiring you to be healthier. Some of my top 5 inspire me to be healthy. Out of 5, maybe 2 of them, they're fitness gurus or health food, or they're fellow coaches, whatever it may be. Or I'd like to learn how to become a positive influence because nobody around you is inspiring your health, and you want to be that individual that inspires. Check it off. The answers are coming in right now. We'll go over those in just a second so that we can get through that. Now, I'll tell you what, this section right here, it's really important because that phrase, you are most like the 5 people you hang around with. It is so true. So what I want you to do is go back into your book, because this is a little clip, an excerpt out of the book. And we just put it up here for you to see. And what I want you to do is go back into the book. And I want you to list 5 friends, okay? I want you also to list 5 accomplices. Now, if you ask, okay, what's the difference between the two? Well, a friend is somebody that supports you on your journey. An accomplice is somebody that helps you get in trouble, helps you make the wrong decisions. Okay, so list 5 friends on the left, 5 accomplices on the right. Now, the great thing is you're able to go into a room and challenge other people on their decisions. Through this, you have an individual that is approaching you and they've got this, they're friends, okay? There's somebody that's close in your circle and they approach you with a pie. And it's this beautiful pie that they took time and they made it and they're like, everybody come enjoy this. But you're sharing with them that I can't have that. Well, if you just tell them I can't have that, then you might be expressing to them that you, in their mind, they're making up a story that you don't want it, you don't like their gift, whatever it may be. But we're going to talk a little bit more about this when our guests get on, and they're going to give you some examples of how you might be able to work through a conversation, exchange words that might not offend somebody. Because remember, they're not thinking the way that you're thinking. So we're going to get that into that in just seconds. So having like-minded people around you, it is so, so powerful. So as we get into that, let's look at these poll results. What are these 5 people around you? Now, some of them, that's the number one answer. Some of them. 5 inspire you to get healthy. That's another high answer just below it. So that's great. You guys are focusing on who you hang out with and how they're going to help you. That's great because, again, those people are who you are going to more likely become. That is great. I love these polls. Now, really quickly, I want to just dive into this so that we can talk about how you as an individual can progressively move through this process. Off the top, when you walk into a situation and you're not feeling confident, you're not versed in the information, and it's a new environment to you, you're typically unconsciously incompetent. Now, when you're in that situation, the description is it's a starting point, okay? It's really just a starting point. We don't have any idea about how to transform a habit yet. We don't know how to, really dive into any of this, but it's usually incomplete. We've also not consistently performed whatever this habit may be frequently. Well, we want to move from there over into the conscious incompetence. Now, it's just a move straight to the right. And basically what we're doing is by reading Dr. A's Habits of Health, we're learning, okay? We're learning things, and through feedback of others, you're becoming aware of what you need to accomplish to perform that skill or habit. Does that make sense? So from there, we're going to go into the conscious competence. Okay. So as you can see on the screen here, we're just moving to the next step. So with that, what we're looking at, this is a more monumental step because through applying the installation of the tools that you've learned in just above that in the conscious incompetence, through applying those tools, okay, you're going to start to take that habit, and through the support of a coach, it's going to add to that, okay, and it's going to help you start to concrete that habit and progressively get to stage 4. That's where we want to be. That's stage 4, the unconscious competence. It's where you don't even have to think about things and they just happen. For example, I used to wrestle. Our coach, we'd always ask, why do we have to do this so often, whatever the drill was? And he said that you need to do it 1,500 times so that it becomes a natural, unconscious action. That's what we want here, is we want unconscious competence, okay? This is where the skill or the habit takes effect and it supports your optimal health and your journey towards it. So with that being said, I would love to introduce the guest speakers here, Rich and Kerry Rocchi. They're coaches who I have just seen such an amazing journey with, where they have a heart of gold, a heart the size of the world, and they're just reaching out and sharing their love with people, changing lives daily. So guys, why don't you hop in and take over?
Thanks, Russ.
Thanks, Russ. I'm Kerry, and this is Rich Rocchi. We're super excited to be here this evening with all of you. And we became clients last June of 2020. And then we decided together to become coaches in September to share this incredible plan with our friends, our family, and beyond. So we would love to share with you tonight some strategies. We're talking about that skill set to optimize your surroundings, strategies to optimize your surroundings. People, places, and things can affect your success or your failure. And the more that we get into this plan and the more that you dive into your books, you become mindful of that. And so we're going to take a closer look at how to manage, how to handle those situations where it might be difficult. It's not the perfect situation. How do we find ways, tools, and techniques that we're going to share with you tonight to help you manage those situations? Because when we fail to plan, we're planning to fail. So we're going to teach you some of these things this evening, starting with avoiding traps. So one of the key areas we're focusing on is friends and family, those well-intentioned situations. Maybe it's a birthday party, your mom's 90th birthday party that just happened a few months ago, Easter, anything like that, where you're having a gathering and there's going to be food, right? Most of the time, those types of of gatherings involve food. And so, when my mom brings a piece of her birthday cake to me and I'm choosing not to have it, how do I handle that in a way that doesn't hurt her feelings, in a way that values what I'm doing, but also respects, the situation? So, number one, you can politely just say no. It's okay to say no or no, thank you. In a situation where it's a close family member, a hug. Thank you so much for thinking of me. Thank you for being so thoughtful. However, today I'm going to pass. And typically, right after that, you're going to get, why? Well, why don't you want some cake? And so then you're going to share your why. You're going to tell them why it's important for you, that you're, choosing new healthy habits, that you're creating healthy habits. You are making better choices for you. For Rich and I, it was making better choices to create a healthy lifestyle for ourselves for long term, because we have 3 children. They are getting a little older. They're 16, 18, and 20. And we want to be around for them. We want to be healthy. We want to be active. We want to watch their lives blossom as they become young adults. And so that's why it's so important to us. And to share that with family and friends is really valuable. And the most of the time, they're going to understand and support that decision. Oh, okay. No problem. They take that piece of cake on to the next person. So just politely saying no, a smile, a hug. Thank you so much for thinking of me. This is why I'm choosing not to. And it's really important to me. I would love your support. What mom isn't going to be happy about that you're taking care of yourself, So what else? You go ahead.
Okay, well, wow, just going public with your decision. So how hard is that? That's hard for me. It's hard for me to put out there that, hey, everybody, I'm on a health journey. I'm looking to improve my health. I'm looking to lose weight. I'm looking to be a better version of myself. And letting people know that sometimes can be uncomfortable. It can be awkward. It just can. But putting it out there at the beginning will really help you in the future when you find yourself in those situations where you're at a gathering or you're out with some friends or someone's coming over as guests and they bring something that might not be on plan. They bring some onion dip and chips, and you don't want to be rude and say, thank you, but I'm not going to eat that. But there are ways to do it, and Kerry explained some of those. So if you put it out early and you let people know that you are on this journey for better health, and just right out on the table from the get-go, then when people come over and you have those interactions and you have those gatherings with families, friends, or whoever, they know. So they're not going to tempt you with things that might not be on your plan. They're also going to help you with offering food that is on your plan, or getting a hold of you early, right? Early on, and say, hey, I know you're coming over for this gathering. What are some of the things I can prepare for you? And what are some of the things that you will eat? So, just let them know early that you entered into this health journey and how important it is for you. The other thing is, lead your decision or your journey by example. And what does that look like? How do I set the example in that? First of all, just be supportive of others, whether they're on a journey or not.
Right.
You are. So just be supportive of others. But also, when you go to that event or you have people over, prepare or bring that tasty, healthy food,
Right.
whatever it is, whether it's a dip or some type of side or something like that.
The buffalo chicken.
That's right. That's actually very, very good. I like spicy. But bring that to the party and people will start to partake, and they'll see, wow, this is really, really yummy. And there isn't any sacrifice here. Try to avoid being the person that brings the unhealthy dish for others and then you won't partake. So that's how you can lead by example in your health journey. Also, going public and putting it out there, it kind of takes the awkwardness away when you're gathered with friends or family. It takes the awkwardness away if you're at a restaurant and you're ordering in front of other friends and you start picking the menu apart, right? And say, yeah, can I have this, but a side of a side of this? And do you have turkey instead of, the more fattier beef type thing? So it does take that awkwardness away, and people won't question you as to why are you eating that, because they already know you're on this journey. So, and those who care about you, they're going to be there to support you. They know you're on a healthy journey. They know that you are improving your health because you've put it out there, and they understand that. So when you have those awkward situations, or you have that person that is trying to influence you, or the peer pressure, they'll step in for you. They're your friends. They care about you, and they're going to say, they're going to interject and try to redirect, or say, no, Kerry and Rich, they're eating this, they're watching their health right now, that type of thing. So it's just really important to put that out there early. Lastly, going public really makes you accountable. It makes you accountable to your choices, and it gives you power and control over your journey. It really does. And then what if they don't accept you? What do you do in that situation? You have potentially family members. And an example that happened to me, I was with Kerry. We went to her house for an event, and her family, and in a very loving way, and very, without any kind of
animosity or
ill will, or they said, hey, you're getting really skinny. You need to eat. In fact, have a milkshake. You need to have a milkshake. And I didn't. I felt fantastic. I lost some weight. I felt great. And I enjoy eating healthier. It makes me feel energized. I just feel better throughout the day. So you just let them know that you're on this health program, and that you don't want to be part of that. So real quick, so you've politely said no. You've shared your why. You've gone public with your decision. And now your friends are trying to be the accomplice. So, just, you were going to say something, I'm sorry. Okay. So it might not always be possible to completely disassociate yourself with these friends or family members, but just how do you avoid this? Speak up and just let them know that you appreciate their position and their concern, but you're committed to your health journey and your lifestyle. And you can enjoy your food and your drink accordingly. So
as you step into those types of scenarios, you become more aware that the environment that you put yourself in affects your behavior. Whether you're putting yourself in a positive environment or a negative one. It becomes much easier to follow plan and to be successful on your journey, or you can be creating a difficult situation for yourself. So the mindfulness that the plan taught us really becomes imperative, and it teaches us to be keenly aware of the people, the places, and the things that can support you, and the opposite, those that can throw you off your game. So the types of people that we found that were the positive people that we started filling our time with more and more were our coaches, each other. We were on plan together. My best friend, she also started plan with us. And and other friends who maybe were not on this journey with us, but were supportive. So we fill our time most of the time with those types of people. And on the other, the other side of the coin, the kryptonite, who or what is your kryptonite? Those accomplices, like Russ mentioned, like Rich mentioned, the places for me, kryptonite, places where junk food is readily accessible, and in my house, the things that would be like ice cream. If it's in my house, I'm going to eat it. So do I buy it anymore? No. And if our kids want some, they can go get some, or they buy an individual amount for them, they eat it, it's done. Because if those off-plan choices or those unhealthy choices are in my house, that's my kryptonite. Those are the things that if it's there, I'm going to it. So if it's not there, it's not a problem. So, those things can distract you. It can distract you, pull your focus from your health journey. So Rich is going to go over real quick one last thing that can distract us.
The electronic leash. Who can relate to that, right? So you have your electronics. It's part of your everyday life. And it has crept into your life over time and has completely consumed you. That I can totally relate to. That's how I was. And they're good because they've improved your connections with family, with friends, with long lost, maybe high school buddies, that kind of thing. But they're a source of stress. They can increase your stress. They did for me. It decreases.
Which then increased my stress.
Sure, of course, it sure does. And then, it decreases productivity. It can elevate your blood pressure. I noticed that my blood pressure was getting elevated as a result, especially when it's something of, that you're dealing with a situation and you're getting blown up on your phone. It makes it difficult for you to recharge your batteries. It just is all out exhaustion. And electronic leashes can do that to you. So what do? How do you minimize that? There's quite a list of things you can do, but turn off your push notifications, reduce the constant stimulus, maybe go back and check your phones periodically, don't have it in your hand and constantly look at it. Put phones away during lunch and dinner, and have them out of sight, because if they're in your view, they cause stress. You will continue to look at them. It just causes that issue. So just have them out of sight. Change the screen to black and white. That's one that I haven't tried, but it sounds like a super good tip. It helps decrease the appeal of your phone. Pick periods during the day that are free of any digital devices. And
hey guys,
you can relax. Yes.
Hey, in the interest of time, I'm gonna have to cut you guys off because we gotta move along. But hey, I want to thank you guys for these amazing tips, because I'll tell you what, with people, when they have a clear understanding of where they're going, they can make right decisions. And having all of this information in front of them, it really helps. And moving along really quickly, when you have that electronic device in front of you, it can also help you, it can also be a benefit. So all of you that are watching, if you haven't already, what I'd love for you to do is not only go check out the OPTAVIA YouTube playlist, because it has all of these past recordings and ones from last year. Go check them out, catch up, see where you are at, and just follow suit with that, but also to text OPTAVIA 30 to 990-00. What you're going to do is you're going to get reminders for these calls, your Monday night calls, all the things. And then next week, what we're going to do is we're going to jump in and we're going to be talking about element 6. My good friend, Dave, and his beautiful wife, Chantel, are going to be coming to you and just giving you a great dissertation of what's going on with element 6. And we thank you guys. We really thank you for joining us tonight.
At OPTAVIA, our mission is to offer the world lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. The prior audio contained the personal testimonials of independent coaches and clients within the OPTAVIA community. Their results are based on the unique experiences of their journey. We cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. We hope those stories inspire you to continue your journey with or to consider joining OPTAVIA. But please note that they have not been verified and your individual journey to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you speak with a healthcare provider in the US or a doctor in Singapore and Hong Kong prior to beginning your journey with OPTAVIA. Additionally, this audio may have contained income or earning representations of some independent OPTAVIA coaches. We cannot guarantee financial success. Success with OPTAVIA is derived from successful sales efforts, which require hard work, diligence, skill, persistence, competence, and leadership. OPTAVIA acknowledges that this audio may be accessible to OPTAVIA coaches in the US, Hong Kong, and Singapore. For independent OPTAVIA coaches operating in the US, please see the OPTAVIA Income Disclosure Statement for statistics on actual earnings of US coaches under the U.S. Compensation Plan. Please note that the Income Disclosure Statement only applies to independent OPTAVIA coaches operating in the U.S. under the U.S. Compensation Plan and does not in any way constitute any representations as to actual or potential accrual of benefits for Hong Kong or Singapore coaches under the International Compensation Plan. Yours in health, the OPTAVIA team.